Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Dennis and welcome back to 1 Year 365. And today, this is a new mini series. Yes, um, at the time I'm recording this, it's about middle of January. Yes, I'm actually kind of below. I'm like below my schedule here. So like maybe I can finish this entire series in one sitting. I'm not sure, but by the time looking, it's actually 13:35 in the afternoon. Well, that is about 1:35 p.m. pretty much, and yeah, I guess I usually record until like twilight. That will be about 6 p.m. or about 4.5 hours from now. So we should be good, right? Hopefully, fingers crossed. Not that I'm chinking. I mean, what's that called again? Like jinxing about it. Don't know if that's a word or not, but basically that. Pretty much. Anyway, what will be the mini series? This one is kind of interesting because this will be wait, yeah, this is I think the first mini series that I will do in this writing mode. I think, um, yeah, it's been a while since the last time I'm recording, and pretty much I don't even remember like what was the first miniseries that I did again. It was like already back in I don't know, like October or November even, and it's been a while pretty much. So yeah, there's that. I don't know what it is with my like my memory. Like I don't know why my memory is not that strong. I kind of realized that as well. Yeah, I don't know what happened pretty much. Like I don't know. Like I feel like sometimes I forgot things quite easily. I don't know, but I guess it's kind of normal as well because of I feel like there is so much going around at one time. Like I have to basically there is so many things that I do in this channel, right? And there is so many things that I need to keep in mind in my keep in my mind. And at times I just don't feel like like I don't have the capability to remember everything pretty much that I'm doing, so or that I have done pretty much. So yeah. Anyway, let's talk about the miniseries that I'll be talking. It will be about superhero. The reason why it's kind of simple because later in the middle of this month, which is February, there will be new Marvel movie or MCU, pretty much another MCU movie. This is actually interesting because this is the first one that will be out in the fifth phase, I think. Is that so? Yeah, yeah. This is the fifth phase, I think, and this will be the first one that will be out, and people are expecting a lot, pretty much, especially after people been thinking that Marvel's been falling off with like their boring story about superheroes. I feel like people got fed up with superheroes already. So yeah, I feel like people just kind of I don't it's like horror movie pretty much. Back then, like in 2010 or before that, 2000 until 2010, I feel like horror movies were something that people enjoy. But you know, any time after 2010 or until recent, I feel like people start to realize that, oh, you know what, horror is not horror anymore, especially when they kind of already know how the story goes, right? Sometimes when there is ghosts, whoo, scary, and then at the end, like there's something that the main character can beat the horror, the ghost or something, or if it goes for the sad ending, everyone dies, right? That's like so predictable, I feel like. Or sometimes when it is like a franchise, like for instance the Conjuring or the what is it called again, the Annabelle, saga and stuff like that. And it will be like I feel like it will be like left at cliffhanger, right? So that you don't really beat the ghost. So it so that it can carry on to the next franchise, right? To the next sequel, pretty much. So, yeah, the same things, and then the same things happened with superhero as well. I feel like it's kind of predictable now, and yeah, like I don't know. It's also a bit a combination of how the performance, like how the actors and the actress, like how the what is it, the edits, the VFX, the what is it again, the director, director's cut, etc., etc. I feel like it'll be like it'll be, I don't know, like it's basically people got saturated. That's uh, simply putting it together. So yeah. Anyway, bad because again there will be like Ant-Man, Quantum Mania, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania, which will be out few, I think, few days from now even. This will be out on February 3rd. In my country, it will be out on February 15th. So that'll be 12 days from now. And yeah, I will probably watch it in the cinema as well. Or if I can wait, a little bit longer, like a month or so, or, I don't know, like not a month, I think like few weeks. And it'll be out on Disney Plus, right? I think there's like Disney Plus subscription at the home now, so for the whole house members pretty much. So might as well use that, right? So anyway, so what will be with the mini series over here, the superhero mini series? Well, basically I will just do a DIY, not really DIY though. It's more like superhero ideas that I feel like that I think it's never been done. I think the concept was not, hasn't been applied just yet. Obviously, I haven't actually researched if if there's already the superpower that exists like this or not. Basically, I'm not sure if that's already the case or not. So like maybe some of these are completely originals. Maybe some of these is not. I mean, some of these are not, but I'm just gonna roll with it anyway because yeah. Um, so the first one, as usual, there will be 7 parts. There will be parts in which will be out, and the final part I think will be at the release date, which will be on February 16th, I believe, worldwide. So yeah, will be will be that in the last part. And also, by the way, I also like I'm also when this video is out, there will also be gonna be another mini series that I already started, which is the American football. In fact, yesterday was the part 2, I believe. I'm just trusting my schedule over here, and tomorrow, in fact, tomorrow is interesting because tomorrow is actually the 250th episode. I will actually make another video about that as well, basically, and there will be one as well on the 300th, and after that will be 365 will be the last day of that. So maybe there's will be another one in the episode 350, who knows. That'll be 100 days to the future, so about 3 months from now pretty much you will watch that. That will be on February, March, April, May. That will be on May, kinda late May, pretty much. So yeah. Anyway, I've been off tangent already. Let's just start. So it'll be super ideas. The first one in this part, I will actually talk about the ability in which you can change weather. But this one is kind of interesting. I know, like when you think about weather changing, you can already know like the storm. I feel like from the X-Men, right? But it's not gonna be like that because I think Storm only, well, just like the name, she can control storm pretty much, right? But that's not really the case here because this weather is actually kind of interesting because so this weather controller, I don't know what uh, I don't know how what will be the name of it, but the weather control basically, this character can controls weather. Well, obviously, just like the name, but the the weather can vary and can be interesting as well. So, okay, let's start from the weather, what will the weather be, right? So obviously we have the four main weather, or two if you live in the, like near the equatorial line, and for main or two, it will be the sunny or rainy, basically. And then there's also like the spring, summer, fall, and winter. And there's also like this is like the main weather, right? But the thing is, there can be also like a mixture of weather as well. So for instance, you have, I don't know, like a sunny day, for instance, and summer. You make this together, and there'll be like a scorched weather. Pretty much like it will be like blazing hot. Pretty much like it will increase the temperature, like locally. Also, yeah, that's also important because this ability will only revolves around, or like nearby the caster or this character, pretty much. And it will not affect globally just yet, until maybe you can make somewhere along the plot of the story that the character can actually affect the entire like the entire planet's weather. So like that would be interesting, right? um and yeah, like if it's like sunny in your area that's supposed to be, only having two seasons, you can suddenly put winter in it. Like suddenly, like the clouds forming together, the temperatures dropping, and you see snow, pretty much. And yeah, that will be interesting, right? And then, oh yeah, also interesting as well. We'll talk about that after this, but this will be for the what kind of weather. Now we have the extreme weather. This one is interesting because this doesn't necessarily be the exact, or the like the actual weather. This is actually like a fiction, like fictive weather. So what do I mean by that is that, think about it this way. Um, so okay, so for the background first, I'm gonna like show how this weather controlling works. So as we all know, this is Earth, for instance, and then there's let's just say this is the sky, right? The sky layer. I know it's not proportionate, but I want to show the sky part pretty much. So this is Earth, and I believe the weather that we are experiencing only happens like not from the actual space, like the borderline, but only from over here. So for instance, if you are over here and this is actually raining over here, the one above this sky, like over here, doesn't actually have any rain whatsoever. So yeah, like if you're like an astronaut outside, you will not be able to see the rain because it'll be like a behind this cloud, right? And you can still see the cloud and pretty much determine that it's actually raining in that area. But the effect of the weather only, there's a limit. That's what I'm trying to say. It only affects as high as the sky. So meaning that the character cannot really affect anything beyond that, pretty much, unless the character like arrives in another planet, and that'll be another story pretty much. The question will be, can the main character control, or copy the Earth's weather into other planets weather, and apply other weathers, other planets weather into Earth, which will be, like I feel like that can possibly happen. And this will become our extreme weather that I'm going to explain. So extreme weather, it doesn't seem that realistic, but it can happen. So like for example, the simplest thing. um, Back then there's like a dinosaur, right? There's dinosaur, and there's so many of them pretty much. And yeah, like however, they all die, right? Because of the what is it, because of the apocalyptic event that happened back then, which is a meteor pretty much that go directly into the earth. And this kind of like a falls from the sky, right? So the sky turns orange, and then suddenly this giant ball, flaming ball, rains down on Earth, and yeah, and the life ended the life back then, right? So what I'm trying to say is that there is this extreme weather. Pretty much there will be like copies of these comets, not that big though. It's pretty much like meteor shower. Like there's a weather in which there will be so many meteors that is like falling from the sky pretty much. And yeah, the character can pretty much do that. Like extreme weather pretty much. Um, Suddenly there's like fireball shooting from the sky, and it's catastrophe, right? And there's also other things as well that I'm thinking, like for instance, I don't know, acid rain perhaps. I mean, it's already been there, right? I mean, it's already here anyway. Acid rain forms when the sky has so many gases, like those what is it like what is what the gas what is the gas called again? It's pretty much the like some kind of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide, and then sulfur, what is SO2? I don't know what that is called. And this, if there's so many of these gases in the sky, and then there is rain, pretty much the rain will strip all these gases into the water because it touches, right? So it's engineering stuff. So the water at down there, like at the ground, um, not really in the ground as well. So there's like a gradient pretty much, in which it will make the rain becomes a little bit acidic pretty much because of that. So pretty much that's already a thing, right? But the thing is, this one, the acid rain, this is also extreme. So it's like corrosive acid, like literally it's like it's pouring down like concentrated acid. So another catastrophe, right? So you probably ask, how will the character survive? Well, the character controls the weather, so I feel like it is safe to assume that the character is safe from whatever weather that's coming. I'm not sure. Maybe that's not. Probably that would be a little bit illogical. That's actually interesting. Uh, I don't know. Maybe the character can actually be affected with that themselves. I don't know. Well, I mean, realistically speaking, yeah, it will also affect the character, right? So if the character is not careful, they can also get the impact from the bad weather pretty much. But it'll be interesting, in my opinion. So yeah. And then after that, oh yeah, the this one is interesting as well. This will be blood rain. So if you like watch so many like horror movies or something, there is sometimes like uh, blood rain, right? And like yeah, it's just basically like that. Yeah, it will be the sky will turn red, and then all of a sudden there's rain, but the rain is red, and upon uh, looking closely, it's actually blood. So that can be happening as well. And then what else? Yeah, basically it's like simple. Also like there can be like sandstorm as well. Suddenly, there is like wind or gusty, and then there is so many sands flying around. Like sandstorm pretty much. The same sandstorm that probably is are I mean on the desert area as well, that can be happening. Um, and yeah, what else? Okay, so how the character knows that they have this superpower? That's actually a good question. Um, so we can just say like maybe when they were small. Well, actually, uh, I also kinda think that I could do this as well during the kid, because when I was kid, it kind of ties to feeling or emotion as well. So when I was kid, when I look down, like I daydream or something, just stare at the ground, thinking about things, and then suddenly there is like cloud, and then like it becomes darker for a moment, right? Because there's a cloud and the sun got blocked, and the line, the I mean the light didn't go through, and yeah, basically a little bit darker down here, right? Um, so like, and then after that, might get me. And then I thought about, I want the weather to be shiny again. And then the cloud moves away, the sun packs, the light goes through, and it becomes bright again. And for a moment, I thought that I was able to do that, so that can be the original thing, right? And then as the person grows up, then they realize that, like every time it involves with emotion, indirectly the character also controls the weather. So when they are angry, suddenly there's like thunder, there's like the sky turns like dark, and there's so many thunder and it's thunderstorm pretty much. um and then like, when they are like feeling happy, when they're out with their friends, they're just feeling happy, but it's raining, then suddenly it becomes like summertime. Like, it's super, like, I don't know, super peaceful pretty much, like there's no cloud, the sun shines, and yeah, just like that. But like I said, it happened like locally at first, right? And maybe somewhere along those lines they can actually control, like, when the character is strong enough, they can completely alter the planet's weather. That can be a thing. And yeah, um so I don't know if there's already been a superpower, like that. I don't know if there's already, I would just presume that there's already one, but I feel like, if it doesn't, if it doesn't exist one, then that would be cool, right? To see that. There's also like some other things as well that can make it interesting, like, I don't know, it will change the local weather, right? It will actually attract people, because then people will notice as well. Like there is something going around, right? There's this anomaly weather. So yeah, definitely there's so many things that can be improved there. Also, like, back into the extreme weather as well. There can be like some other weather that uh, isn't supposed to, isn't realistic, like fictive. Like for instance, it rains, I don't know, like it rains money, for instance. It can happen pretty much. So yeah, it can happen, like, if the character wants, right? They just think about raining, but it's raining money. So maybe it can happen. Who knows? Or coins, at least, right? Like there's so many coins falling from the sky. Then you probably think about, where the coin comes from. Will that affect the country's economy or something? Well, there can be some, like, I don't know. Maybe it's a fake money. I don't know. Maybe it's like, yeah, basically it will just gonna create out of nothingness, right? Which is kind of weird as well. But I mean, that's just how superhero works, right? Like, it doesn't make any sense in the first place anyway, so there's no need to wonder, what's the source of that, right? Because of the, conversation, no, not conversation, conservation of mass or energy, pretty much. Like, something cannot just happen, or be created out of nothingness, right? There's like a change, pretty much, like a change from one form to another. So like, if you think about it that way, then it'll be a little bit, like, difficult, right? um Excuse me one second. I kind of need to adjust my position here. Okay. I'm kind of. It's actually, like I said, this 1:30 in the afternoon, and I actually am kind of, just having lunch, and I'm kind of tired now. I don't know why. It's always happens like this. Every time I eat, I feel like, a little bit sleepy afterwards. Don't know. Maybe it's just like the bad food that I'm, taking. I'm not sure actually. But anyway, let's hear if there's anything else. I kind of don't think so. Will that be it for this one? The first part, there will be like, the first part about, someone that can actually control weather. It can be, your usual weather patterns, or like, I don't know, like it's fictive or extreme weather, pretty much. And then yeah, like I said, maybe from other planet as well. Maybe there's a planet in which there's so many like volcano, and then oh, that doesn't look right. Yeah, like this for instance, there's like a volcanic eruption, and it just throws away material. I feel like that can happen, right? So yeah, it's basically the one that I was talking. It kind of looks like meteor shower, but not really. So it's like just projectile from a volcanic eruption. So that can be a thing actually. um just stuff like that. Is there anything else that might be maybe interesting? What? Before I'm actually closing this one, because it's already been like more than 20 minutes already. I don't know. Like maybe the storyline will be the character. Just I don't know. Like uh, the character doesn't know that they can do that, and over time they can do that, and then after that maybe it will raise some suspicion, and people are after the character, like maybe the authority, and I don't know, like when we talk about superhero, I feel like there's like more than one already, right? Like it's not like the first superhero, right? Especially like in Marvel Cinematic Universe, I feel like when randomly a character appears, I feel like there's already many other superhero as well. So I feel like in this way, the authorities are kind of already, like understanding what's going on, right? It's just another superhuman, pretty much. So yeah. Anyway, a little bit for this one. The first part is the person that can control the weather. I know it sounds like a little bit silly at first, right? And oh, it's not cool. It's just water. It's just rain. It's just like summer or suddenly snow. But no, there is also some other weather, or like things that you cannot imagine as well that can happen pretty much. So yeah. Anyway, a little bit for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you again tomorrow. Will be in the 250th video, pretty much. And yeah, until then, see ya.